All right, what's going on, A to Z Sports? It's the Titan halftime live and a 20-17 lead for your Tennessee Titans at halftime. Easton, I was absolutely right about the over in this game because we're at 37 points through the first half. So looking like over 40.5 is going to hit. And my, oh my, do we have a ton to talk about. Everywhere from an 11 of 11 start from Will Levis with some explosive plays and a really, really awesome beginning of the day on offense, to the 8 sacks allowed by the Titans on offense that have now put them in a weird position. You saved 3 points there at the end. I don't know. We're all over the place. The secondary has looked horrible. You've given up a bunch of explosives. You've gotten a bunch on your end. It's scoring. It's points all around. But the Titans lead at halftime. They seem to have a prayer in this game. Going to go ahead and get into it. I cannot wait to hear your thoughts, Easton. But first, going to give some love to our partners coming in here. They're X Golf Nashville and now in Murfreesboro as well, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. X Golf, play, train, and entertain. Go to playxgolf.com. BetMGM, log in today to get your Pro Football Boost Pack to acquire tokens for more winnings. BetMGM is an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. And T-Dot, be part of the solution to end littering and make sure that nobody trashes Tennessee. Visit nobodytrashestennessee.com. Easton, where the heck do you want to start?
If you could have parlayed before the game, Titans first half, 8 sacks allowed, 20-point team total, lead at half, your odds would have been plus 47,000. It would have been
won the lottery.
Bet $1 to win 50 grand. Yeah. Unbelievable half where Will Levis was nails. Awesome at everything except for pocket management, which is his biggest flaw. And in that category, he was god awful. That was like the Chargers second half.
Okay.
You and I were talking post game, except amplified. He was a much better quarterback and much worse in the pocket.
I would say this, regarding the sacks, because I know, if you're watching the broadcast, I do think people tend to have they tend to just listen to whatever the color commentator tells them. So it's gonna be 5 sacks.
And Ross Tucker, former NFL lineman, so he's gonna defend the boys on the line.
Yeah. I will say though, I don't have a problem with Will Levis's sacks in some of these cases where it's like a 1 or 2 yard sack. Like, I think some of these ones where he's stepping up into the pocket, you can make an argument like, why are you stepping up into a sack? But if you're getting back relatively to the line of scrimmage, it's not a huge issue for me. It's those two, or I guess
stepping into pressure. You have a clean pocket. You're bailing a clean pocket, stepping into pressure. It's bad pocket management.
But it is a bang play that can also lead to him escaping the pocket and big yards on the ground. Which
you're right that it's not super harmful to the team ultimately, but it is bad quarterbacking. So
sure, you definitely need to be better at managing the pocket in those areas. I just don't think it's super detrimental to the team's progress. If you're getting relatively close to the line of scrimmage, it's those 10-yard ones which. Luckily for Will Levis and for the Titans, Nick Folk bangs home a 56-yard field goal, and you're able to get points out of that situation anyway. Questionable call by Brian Callahan, not just running the ball on 3rd down and 18 or whatever it was that could have just set them up for an easy field goal. Questionable, obviously, by Will Levis with horrible blocking that's right in front of him not to throw the ball away.
Wow. I don't think that call was questionable, by the way, because on the replay, you saw Chig on the quick crosser was wide open. It was a 1-second throw. I don't know why he didn't throw the ball.
Well, I think that's intended to be a screen. You just run the ball there. Just run the ball there.
Did they have timeout left though?
The Titans did have timeouts left.
Okay, I was about to say if they didn't,
because they got sacked, so they were able to stop.
True, good point. Regardless. Good point.
So they could have run the ball, taken a timeout, kicked a 42-yard field goal. Now, it didn't matter. You made the kick anyway.
That's right.
I don't want this show to skew negative because of the way that it ended with the sacks at the end. I feel like you could have a more negative feeling towards that first half. Will Levis, hello. Man. We talked before the game. Progress, regress, or stay the same. This is the progression that you asked for and called, Easton, because this was his best half of the season, the best half of his career, diagnosing the blitz, getting the ball out quick when the blitz is in his face sometimes, accurate, throwing guys open in man coverage down the field. Yeah, deep balls. And if Calvin Ridley's one-on-one at this point, I'm convinced Will Levis is going to throw him open because he can put so much air under this ball that it can be 20 yards across the field and he can just throw it up there and Calvin's going to go get it and outrun his guy. Yep. That connection seems to be firing. Calvin Ridley is doing his damn thing as wide receiver 1. Nick Westbrook-Akine, hello, we're back in the end zone. And Easton, our bets were perfect on the day on our bets. I tweeted from A to Z Sports. Had you listened to Easton and I before the game, you called Levis longest pass over 33.5 yards. He's had 2 of them that would that have sufficed for that already. You called the Nick Westbrook-Akine anytime touchdown, which cashed.
If I could put NWI anytime touchdown on auto pay like my Bills, I would. I would. I would set it up on my DraftKings to auto pay each week. Just go ahead and place it.
I love it. I'm on over 40.5 total points. We're at 37 through the first half, feeling really good there. I was on Calvin Ridley over 60 receiving yards and NWI over 27.5 receiving yards. I also parlayed all 3 of those legs together, so I'm looking really good right now. So we're cooking on the Titans Texans first half, but I don't know. How do you summarize this first half?
Yeah, if Levis, if like we took the 8 things of his game we were looking for to grade, like if we were giving him a report card and there were 8 categories, again, in 7 of them, he's getting an A-, A+ right now. And in one of them, he's getting a definitive F. And so it's like, you don't want to focus too much on that one thing. It's tempting to, just because he's so close to playing perfect. It's just that one really, really big issue right now. But now that we've gotten that out of the way, and I know you and we're not going to victory lap too hard at halftime, because in 10 seconds we could be proven wrong. But I'm just going to tell you, if we get to the end of this game and Will Levis looks like he did in the first half, in the second half, the Easton Freeze Sam Phelan segment of the A to Z Will Levis divide is up. I mean, we're up right now. So
we've talked a lot, and I'm getting way ahead of myself here.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
I apologize for getting way ahead of myself, but we've talked a lot about what the future looks like for the Titans at quarterback. I got railed on Facebook and Twitter and every platform for writing earlier this week, Easton, that the door was still open for Will Levis to be this team's future. And
we've both taken a beating over this. We've taken a beating.
Looking real good again. Now, this is now the 3rd week in a row against a very good defense that he's done some really impressive things. And you could potentially, if you're a Titans fan right now, 2-8, ugly. This defense today, ugly without Amani Hooker back there.
They're missing dudes, man. Yeah, it's showing that they're missing guys.
Yeah, they're missing some dudes. It's looked bad. Tony Pollard with a fumble. The sacks, obviously, we know the right tackle is an issue. We know that Will Levis's pocket
JC Latham having a tough day against a really good opponent, but he's having a tough one.
2 sacks that were some of those not 1-2-yard sacks, but those 10-yard sacks are JC Latham just olaying his man. And Will Anderson, what was the call before the game that we got that Will Anderson get a
4.5 sacks? So where it's trending. It's trending.
We're in the neighborhood here.
I hope that guy plays that.
It is starting to look like, and like, obviously this is conversation that will exist for 6 months from now or 4 months from now. But if Will Levis is looking good like this and the Titans are still not winning games, you're gaining draft capital and maybe you don't have a quarterback problem. And what position can that potentially put the Titans in moving forward? I will give everybody credit on Twitter today, has been responding and saying they are more than happy to be wrong about Will Levis. It is in the best interest of this organization if he continues to play like this. It opens up things astronomically of what you're able to do as a front office and a coaching staff. And big credit to Brian Callahan, who I really feel like is starting to find his stride offensive play calling wise over the last 3 weeks, is really starting to get guys schemed open down the field. Will Levis, with his arm talent, is making the most of those deep shots. I called for it for the first half of the year. Please create explosive passing plays. That is the answer. And the Titans have really done that. They've done it again here today, and it's going to be the key to them winning this game in the second half.
Yeah, at this point, I think everybody watching this team, as exciting as that first half was, and honestly, maybe the question for the chat here is, are you still rooting for them to win this game? Or like, are we hoping that they look as good as possible but still lose? So I'm curious what people are wanting. But regardless of what you're looking for, the thing for me is, all year long, until last week, really, we've seen this team kind of fall apart at half and come out flat. And we've had a number of games where we get to this halftime show and you look at this score right below my face on the screen and the number next to the Titans number at halftime, when we make that graphic, you just leave that number in for the post-game show because they don't score any points after half. So do they continue with this momentum in the second half? Do they look competent? Are they moving the ball? Do they not just not run out of steam, but maybe, crescendo to the end is what good teams finish stronger than they start. And then the thing that, this game's back and forth. I don't think either team's going to necessarily pull away with it. This is where we're getting a rare instance of, hey, is Will Levis going to be put into a position where it's like a really high leverage drive, chance to win the game, chance to put the game away? And in that high leverage, high pressure spot, what does he and this Titans offense look like? Because frankly, they have not been in many high pressure spots this season.
Yeah. Most of the chat is coming in and saying they're still rooting for a big win. There's a couple people who want the loss, but I think, it's a Texans rivalry game. It's a big confidence game for Will Levis. He has this first half. Finish this deal, man. You get your first career interception by Jarvis Brownlee at a big spot that gives you a halftime lead. There's a lot of things that have broke their way so far. And with as good as Levis has looked, if you can pick up a win, I know it's not necessarily what you want to when you look at the draft board.
Road to 9-8. Don't worry about it.
Road to 9-8. Tankathon.com, but in the heat of battle here, it's hard to not root for the Titans to pull this thing out and, make life a little bit more difficult for the Houston Texans along the way. The owner wants a win. Yeah, I would bet.
Think about how mad Texas ownership will be if they lose this game. That's what you should be rooting for.
A 2-8 Titans team coming in and, getting – by the way, when did Azeez Al-Shaair become a dirty player? Because after he left the Titans, I have seen maybe 4 instances this year of him just clobbering a dude on the sideline trying to injure him. I don't know what
Ryan
there.
Turns these guys into warriors, man. I don't know. He's got that linebacker energy.
Well, everybody wants a win. Let's see how confident you are in a win. Drop it real quick in the chat. Your confidence level 1 to 10 of the Titans winning this game versus the Texans in the second half. A 20-17 lead. What is your confidence level? Easton Freeze, you started off here.
Well, earlier in the year, the last time they had a lead at half, I said I was no longer going to bet north of 6 out of 10 until they showed me that they could actually finish a second half strong, which they did last week, even though they lost. So I'm not even going to count that. They still lost, even though they had a better second half. So I'm going to say a 6 again. They have the lead. They get the ball after half. They have looked good. The reason I'm not higher, frankly, is just because of their previous history and inability to finish.
I mean, if the Titans come out and score a touchdown on this opening drive, they're going to win this game. I'm 10 out of 10 confident in it.
Okay, but if they don't,
if they score on the opening drive, they're going to win this game. If they don't, we'll see. I mean, my confidence level is because my confidence level is at a 5 ultimately, and it comes down to what I said before the game.
Well, hang on, people in the chat are about to boo you. We don't do 5s on this show. Can't do a 5.
Okay, then it's at a 4. Then it's at a 4.
All right,
because what I said before the game still holds true right now. I'm worried about this defense. The special teams has been an issue today. The defense has allowed a lot of explosives. CJ Stroud hasn't even looked very good, and they've still managed to get into this game with 17 points in the first half because guys are just open. So I'm at a 4, not a 5. Don't boo me. Save the tomatoes in the chat. I see tomatoes already. Keep the tomatoes.
Well, and the chat's all right there with us. Cautious optimism right around 4, 7, 5, 7.5, 4, 3, 6. So we're right at about halfway, and the Titans have the ball now, so we got to get out of here.
Yeah, all right, we'll get out of here. I'm worried about this Titans team you played almost perfect in the first half. You're only up by 3. We'll be back after the game. Leave a like on the show before you go. Till then, tighten up. We'll see you, man. See you later.